SRIRAM's IS, serving the nation since 1985. Ab offline ho ya online, we are the lifeline.
Okay, so last week I was not present, so I will be dealing with all the important topic of the last week, budget, and the important topics of this week. Okay, as far as it is concerned, now my focus will be on revision of certain prelims concepts as well, so that you guys are able to understand the nuances of the prelims within this course. Okay. So first thing first, that you should understand last 2 weeks some major things have happened. Okay. So my focus area of the today's class will be the budget, because in the last class, as I told you guys, that it will take some time for me to cover all these things. Okay. Then we will go for our area Action AI Summit. Then we will be analyzing IR from the perspectives of France-India relations and USA-India relations. The context of this will be PM Modi's visits. Okay, because we visited both the countries. Apart from it, some general questions will be there. Okay, so did you guys receive your PDFs? Did you guys receive PDF? Did you receive? Print out? Okay. धर्मेंद्र जी इसका प्रिंट आउट दे दे या करो यार, अगर ऑफलाइन स्टूडेंट से पॉसिबल है तो थोड़ा सा मिल गया? अच्छा ठीक है डन थैंक यू. वही पूछ रहा था, है ना? तो वी विल बी डीलिंग. So certain things have not been in the PDF. It will come along with the next weekly digest. Okay, so but these topics I will be covering because this is a past of year thing only. Okay, but PDF you will might be getting in the next week because the team was little busy occupied with the economic survey. Hope you have gone through the summary of economic survey. You guys did not get? It is made freely available in printed format, so you can ask at the receptions. It will be there. Okay, so if you are in the offline center, you can always have it. Okay, even the PDF is available on the Telegram channels or somewhere. Okay, that is I will say, nice summary. Team has done really good work over it, and you will receive your budget summary as well from the whole perspective. I will be dealing with the examination perspective. मेरा purpose होता है exam clear करवाना, simple. ठीक है? And the budget summary is also there, so you guys can follow the both. Okay. So these 3 topics, my focus areas will be. So let's start one by one the topics. Okay. So first topic that has been there, it's about India's middle income challenge. Now, always remember, whenever we talk about middle income, it is a trap. It can be for India or any nation. It can be for MSMEs or any organization. It can be for individuals, suppose salary, for your reference. Okay, now before I move further, let me explain you the concept behind the middle income. So middle income is a phenomena where you are not in the lower side, you are not in the higher side. So philosophically, if you look, You cannot take the benefits of the government which is being provided to the lower strata. Be it your economical benefits, socio-economical schemes, you will be out of it. Secondly, unlike the higher strata, your affordability factor is low. Affordability factor is low when you will be comparing. Okay. Then when you compare with the lower strata, exclusionary error from the schemes. At the same time, one of the most precarious thing that you will be observing is risk taking capacity or vulnerability. Both are, one is low, vulnerability is high. Okay, this is the characteristics of any middle income, be it anyone, be it nation, be it MSME, be it individuals. Why I am saying vulnerability is very high? You guys are subject to out of pocket expenditure. Be it health expenditure case, be it educational expenditure, be it anything, you might be at the receiving end. This is the reason, because of your high vulnerability, your risk taking capacity is low. And if the risk taking capacity is not there, it means you will not be going for the revolutionary steps, revolutionary things. You will not be able to achieve anything in your life. Okay, so now the philosophy is done. I hope everyone is clear about it. Now the issue with our low income challenge is what? That India's per capita income has risen from $1,002 to 2,700. Okay, and it has happened over in the last few decades. Okay, now transition to upper middle income, which has been subject to 4,500. That is low, high, but both are middle only. When you reach into 10,000s like America, then you are a high income country. Fair enough? This is what you have to understand. Now, in this context, okay, this is the context where you have to understand, work upon the things. Due to absence of the catalysm that is required from the high income side, you guys feel challenged to bring out certain reforms, because for the taxation you are dependent on this. And these people will have low personal income. Certain things will not be in the notes. It is part of class, okay? Low personal income, okay? Taxation is low and the personal income is low. So, taxation burden goes on which tax? Direct or indirect? Why direct? Indirect side. And indirect tax everyone equally. So, this is not right way of redistribution of wealth. This is one is regressive. Fair enough. Now, just because of these things, first challenge that comes up is uneven growth. Okay. The first challenge that we observe, uneven growth. Why? Person who is here or in the high income group, say $10K, These people have the capital which can be invested in entrepreneurial activities. Now, it will certainly give certain return of investment. They have these two things: high risk taking capacity, low vulnerability. Now, the concept is like that. It has led to two Indias in the terms of Vedas, which income is growing, okay. Second, income is going sliding down. It is K-shaped recovery, you must have heard. So what is K-shaped recovery? Just to ensure certain sectors are in upward trajectory, certain sectors in downward trajectory. So it is K-shaped growth. One part of society growing and one part of society is not. So that is why uneven growth is more present in middle income countries. You got the analysis behind it? Fair enough. Now, second thing that you have to understand, in this country, if you are having low middle income, what does it shows? Whose income is less? Whose income is less? What kind of people? What kind of skill they will have? Low or high? Low skills, low income, true that? It means you are in the low skill side. First thing. Okay. Now, further, if the low skills, it means low wages. It means your economy is not working on the final product rather than on the initial stages of product. So it can be a case that you are working on raw material and importing final products. It can be a case. This is the classification of low middle income countries challenges. So these things are not in the notes, that is a part of class, the debates. Notes you have the data and all. Okay. Now, with this concept, what you will understand ki if you have to do wage rise, you have to upgrade your skill. True that? To upgrade your skill, you again need capital to be invested. There are two types of capital. One is financial capital. Second is social capital. So finance capital, money, social capital, when you invest in your health education. You are healthy, you will do good work. I can conduct classes for the 8, 9 hours, 10 hours. But people who will not invest in their health, they might be like after 4 hours then invested. So you have to invest in your health somehow. Okay. Then what the government should do? Okay. What the government should do? You have to focus that migrate. So government should encourage migration in such countries. How migration? See, consider Bihar, Delhi. People are coming from Bihar to Delhi for money. Simple. But these people are getting some work here which is absent in Bihar, maybe even labor work. However, if they earn good money, they are sending this money to their place back. Now, it increases purchasing power of the Bihar people. Now, purchasing power increases. What you can do? You will invest in your social infrastructure, health, education and all basics, because earning though you are doing here. Now, health, education, if you are investing in it and you are going above the normal line. Now, what kind of labor you will transferring to Delhi? Skilled. Now from low skill to high skill conversion is there. Exactly. Now do you know why America has superpower? It attracted skilled individuals. Okay, and the people who are sending remittances back over here, their families are investing in growth and development of India. So this is fine thing. But why Bihar, UP like states have been quite behind the developmental targets? The reason is simple. They kept supplying low skills. So it means high skill development is required, high education is required over here. For that, you have to invest in higher end things like tech. Teach the Bihari students of ours to be well versed with the AI. Provide them in government schools. Why not? Okay. Financial services, insurance sector, hospitality sector you can come up with. This is how you will be moving forward. Okay. Then advanced manufacturing. What is advanced manufacturing? Can anyone tell me? अगर मैं कहूं आपको एडवांस होना है तो आप क्या करोगे? हाँ, तो बेटर में कुछ वर्ड बोलो ना, टेक्नोलॉजी डालना है. इस टाइम टेक्नोलॉजी में सबसे बड़ी बात क्या चल रही है मार्केट में? You have to do this. You have to focus on the automation. You have to upskill. This is what it is. Okay. Then you have to again, if you have to increase the employment opportunity within the district, within the states, then you have to attract industries. Reason simple, they create jobs. Okay, fair enough. Fine, chalo. So next article or the news that was in news, UAE Emir visited over here and we talked on 3 fronts: trade, energy and investment. Okay, some things might be missing in your side, but LNG is there. Okay, so you can note down from the board. Now what you have to understand over here, trade we have $14 billion. So while meeting with the PM Modi, he said, let's make it 28 billion. Okay. Trade main component is that's why in the news. Okay. Now just for your prelims wala side. Read about it from the process perspective, where it all helps, if better than petrol, diesel. What about natural gases? Okay, LPG से better है क्या? From the perspective of science and tech. I will certainly start one series once I am done with this interview process. Right now I cannot comment on it. It will be on YouTube. I will be covering these things whichever have been in the news now, static part of the same in my series. Okay, now energy. Qatar is our first number supplier. USA is second largest supplier. Now, when the Qatar says we will double our trade by 2030, Why 2030 is an important area? Yes, it can be. What else? In terms of energy, when we are going to peak? Huh? 2030, 32, somewhere here only. What is peak? Huh? Exactly. Highest demand of the energy, highest demand. So we are going to peak in 2030. And if the highest demand of energy is required, we might be needing liquefied natural gas. So they are targeting that they should remain the first, else the USA will replace as a trading partner. Got it? Now, considering the third point that we discussed, investment. So two kinds of investment. One is these days sovereign wealth fund. So they have pledged somewhere 1.5 billion for the time being. Okay, and investment authority of Qatar has been asked to look out what we can invest. So in general, so this is the major relation. Okay, now these are the 3 points where we had talks with Qatari Emir. Okay, now moving further, why LNG plays the key role in the Indo-Qatar direction. So you will observe that we are getting about 38.8% from Qatar itself. So this is the reason. Okay. Since India is going to peak in 2030, means demand will be high, means we have the purchasing power as well, money that is required. Okay, in such cases the countries wants to join us for long term contract, and Qatar can offer energy, that's why it is fair. Okay, now moving to further next topic of your PDF, you can find it out, India-Afghanistan relations. Okay, so all it started with withdrawal of USA and incoming of Taliban regime. We were having good relations with Afghanistan, Karzai government, Abdullah Hamid government, Abdullah government, everyone was fine with us. But what has suddenly happened? Withdrawal of USA and incoming of Taliban. It was the context that we were thinking that it will have friendly relations with the Pakistan and it will act as deep state for Pakistan. The Pakistani deep state will act here and it will act as strategic depth. Okay, it was believed. Okay, Pakistan. Looking at the opportunity, our another neighbor, China, came up in the picture. China said, okay, fine, let's have good relations, that is positive relations with the Taliban. So they exchanged their ministers' visits ambassadors. So they are having good relations. Now India adopted wait and watch approach or strategy. Fair enough. Okay, so in the wait and watch approach, what we understood over here, we have to observe how this Taliban will behave. Okay, now we found out it is trying to behave like any democratic elected government. Now, in this context, we started the back channel talks and we had the recent meetings as well. Okay, always remember whenever you are studying about IR, it becomes very important for prelims as well. I'll just let you know how. Something like this. India, sorry for my bad drawing, but something like this. Here do we have somewhere Afghanistan? Correct? Somewhere here Pakistan, then Afghanistan. Here, which are Middle East? Say Europe, Central Asia, China. Can I say, even though it is little bad, but this is the map of our Middle East. Just look at the Afghanistan. First, why we need good relations? It's about the people to people contact. It's about our development project within the Afghanistan. But in the Middle East, which country is here? Iran. Correct? Which port we have over here? Any port that you guys can guess? Chabar. Any corridor which is connecting Middle East to Europe? Huh? IMEC. In India Middle East corridor. Huh? हाँ, ठीक है? India Middle East corridor we have. Apart from it, from the Chahabar port, we have connection with the Delaram, Afghanistan and all. Then we have Tapi pipeline project from the Central Asia. Exactly. Now this Pakistan can be bypassed if we have good relations with the Afghanistan. We sent our shipments to Chahabar, Chahabar to Afghanistan, and we can move to the Central Asia. We can totally avoid the Pakistan. In this context, we required our Afghanistan. So we need to have the good relations. Now let's go back to Kandahar times. How many have seen that movie? Hijack one, huh? Kaun si movies? So what was the issue that we faced to interact with the terrorist? We were dependent on Pakistan. Remember, ISI के ऊपर dependent थे हम लोग. They were not talking to us directly. Getting it? Now Taliban is showing something different. Obviously they are not giving rights to the women and all, but मुझे ऐसा लगता है पड़ोस में कुछ भी हो हमें मतलब ज्यादा होना नहीं चाहिए. जब ज्यादा हो जाए तो जाके पीट देना चाहिए, जैसा इंदिरा गांधी जी ने किया. ठीक है? This is how I feel. In such cases, Afghanistan, we understood that we were dependent on the Pakistan. Now we need to have back channel talks. Afghanistan, Taliban also showed some positive signs. They said that we will not act as strategic depth and all. In such situations, our relations are. Fair enough. Now, you will find certain data, how it is in your PDFs. Okay. एक बार PDF दोबारा अपडेट कर दीजिएगा ग्रुप में धर्मेंद्र जी, अगर आप आसपास हैं तो प्लीज चैट बॉक्स में. इन लोगों को PDF नहीं दिखी होगी जो लेट ज्वाइन किए. ऋषिकेश चंदन आई गेस. चंदन ऋषिकेश PDF है आपके पास? डिड यू गाइस रिसीव द PDF? Now you will receive, don't worry. Okay. Now, what we import from them is cashew, nuts, saffron. This is what they export. Then apple also we import. Fine. Now the Afghanistan policy was to replace poppy. Poppy means afim and all with the saffron. Okay. So these are the certain things that we have to focus upon. Okay, what we can import, what we can export over there. Okay, fair enough. So this is the trajectory of the India-Afghanistan relations, which was in news. I forgot the number, I guess. 4th. So expediting justice. So the article talks about that this is judicial congestion. 74 point what percent it is? 9% and 63.1% are the cases are pending in High Court and the district courts respectively. This is the data that you have to remove for the means. Now, what needs to be done? You have to focus. Okay, and two philosophies. One is justice delayed. This is one philosophy. I'm just explaining because it might be help you for the mains, not for prelims. Then justice hurried, exactly. Justice buried. In this context, we come up. Okay. So it is said that we are taking hell lot of our time to investigate the matters. Court is under trial, investigation is there, sometimes investigation is false. Okay, so whenever you criticize our criminal justice system, what you should ensure, it should be proper ecosystem. So if police does the right charge sheeting, right investigation, it can be good. If the police do not do, it cannot be good. Then comes the judiciary part. They have to be quick decision maker. The law should be not archaic but in consonance, in the relevance with the modern times. Fair enough. So what needs to be done? We have to balance these things. That is, balance the speed with fairness. Buried means we are compromising on fairness. Denied means speed. Now got it why I quoted both the articles. Okay. Now we have to also curb down vexatious cases. A person has not taken any dowry but is still in dowry case. Property disputes case without anything. Then the cases which can be solved administratively. If the challan issue is there, let it be taken care by administrative officer. Why someone else? Fair enough. Then the another thing that we are talking in this, when we talk about pending cases in judiciary, which is important thing, legal accountability. So one of our ex-CGI has said, performance based incentives to the judges as well. How speedy you take the trials. So legal accountability should be there. Judges should have some time frame. भाई इतने दिन में केस सॉल्व कर लेना है आपको, बैठ के तनख्वाह नहीं लेनी है सिर्फ, ठीक है. Then lawyers should have some self accountability. You should not misuse the litigation process. कई बार लॉयर जान के लंबा खींच रहा है केस को, डेट्स को पेंडिंग कर रहा है. He is just having the nuances. Why? Okay, every day, every passing single day shows that in judiciary cases are increasing. Fair enough. So this is what you have to focus upon. Now next news, before I start your budget and all, WHO has come up with international classification of disease. So first prelim side it becomes important. who comes up with classification of disease? Classification of disease. So when we talk about the classification of disease, it's the work of WHO. Okay, and why we classify? Always remember, it is nothing but data. Data helps you in communication. Data helps you in analysis. Okay, these two things you remember, your 80% of things will be there. Now, WHO says if we have to enhance health delivery, okay, then we need to have integration of information. Okay, integration of information. This is what we have to focus upon. Fair enough. Moving further in this side, what we have to understand. See, this global is, WHO is global body. So its standards will be global. It means it's setting the uniform kind of data availability within the health systems of the world. Fair enough. That's all from the perspective, just mains reading apart from it. Okay. Now moving to the trail guard AI. Very good. It is good for prelims as well. Okay, so trail guard AI has been in their Simlipal, tiger reserve. Where it is? Odisha. Which river goes from here? Which river goes from here? That's your homework for your, I will say, environmental class. Huh? There is one river, and in UPSC you always remember whenever you are doing tiger reserves and all, it will be really tough for to remember 51 tiger reserves we have. So even if you can remember the states, you will not be able to recall each and every fact. So those who are in the news, at least for them, you should do where the river goes. So it can be a case that Simlipal tiger reserve in the Orissa, and they will name some river, suppose Bhadrak they call it. Okay, Bhadrak river is there, suppose, but it is being matched with the Orang or Oran tiger reserves. So at least you guys will not be confused. So UPSC does not confuse what you know. They will know that Simlipal is in news. They will ask factor related to it. They will make you confuse. Suppose Panna tiger reserves, Pench tiger reserves. Now it's not like that you have to all the things. If you know that this belongs to Simli, you always make it wrong. Then you will find within the options, you will be able to eliminate. Not every question is about only one, only two. And if you guys are just concerned this only one player, only two player is hurting you, I will say, mentally, then the cutoff for that year was 80 marks. Correct? 80s में था ना उस साल cutoff. Why to be worried? मैं कह रहा हूँ पेपर toughest आ जाए, तुम लोगों के हाथ पाँव फूल जाए वहां जाके, परेशान हो जाओ तुम लोग. Then it will be just 70, 75 cut off. It will be 60 cut off. So whatever be the cut off, you score 1 marks more than that. It's not. First mistake that you guys will do in your prelims examination is giving up, losing your calmness. People fail at the 3 stages. Let me tell you, people fail at the 3 stages. First stage, they do not prepare like this. They do not give the right importance of strategy. Say, as a teacher, whenever you had the environmental class, I am 110% sure no one would have ever given you this perspective. They would have come up, they would have explained the concept, they go out. This is the difference between the college paper and the UPSC examination. Even college have the same strategy, but UPSC examination, those who develop the acumen of the prelims, they understand the analysis of the prelims, they understand how to clear the prelims. See, I have failed prelims as well. I have cleared prelims n number of times. Okay, I have been on the both sides. If you ask me what wrong I did when I failed, I did only two wrongs. First, I stopped using PI. I was not using PYQs. Now my strategy, whenever I teach, whenever I take any session, my purpose, I will just go with the PYQs of that particular paper. I will read the PYQs, then I will read the content. So first thing that I will do good, if anything related to PYQs comes in my content, I will be able to foresee it. अरे इसको तो कहीं देखा है. And I will mark that in my book while making notes. And when I again attempt the paper, before moving through the test series, I am marking PYQs. There is one student in the PMC batch of yours, Prelims Mastery course. His scores have improved. He was scoring really bad. In January, we started this batch. His scores were very bad. He was concerned. I told him, stop attempting test. You attempt PYQs daily on the 30. Daily basis 30 PYQs he is attempting. And 1 hour he is dedicating. One day he attempts, next day he analyzes all 30 questions. One day he attempts, next day he analyzes. Now his score has improved in discipline test and others. Okay, from suppose if he is attempting 100, those are sectional papers, 100 marks, he was getting 40, 50, now he is in range of 70, 80. But this was January starting, this is Feb end. Had it been this 100 plus score, this is what you aspire for mentally in any test series. Quite easy. It becomes easy. You should have the right mindset. कहाँ UPSC confuse कर रहा है? अच्छा UPSC यहाँ से question बना रहा है. This is what you have to understand. Fair enough. So simply part target reserve, coming back to the topic, थोड़ा सा mentorship हो जाता है बीच में, है ना? Simply part target reserve. Here to stop poaching, we are using AI which has been named TrailGuard AI. So what it does, it enhances the automotive surveillance. Okay, automated surveillance. Suppose a person is carrying the gun. A person with the gun, he is not security person. AI picture clicks. Okay, this area he has been looked at here 30 minutes before. In 30 minutes, what all area he can cover from that point? Security forces cordoned up. Done and dusted. Hunters are again back into the strangulation of security forces. Forest department. Okay, real-time alerts, you are getting it. Okay, proactive enforcement. Now, challenge is safe access routes. Okay, to create safe access routes, specifically sometimes surveillance restricts local people as well, because these poachers are involving local people. See, any crime happens, it cannot be done without the local support. अगर आपके घर में चोरी हुई है तो किसी ने तो इंफॉर्मेशन दिया है, चाहे वो काम वाली बाई हो, चाहे वो आपका दोस्त हो. If any terrorist attacks has ever happened, Indian citizens are also involved. Okay, so any planned way of killings, locals are involved. So we have to sometimes comes there as well. Okay. Okay, so you have information in the last paragraph of your PDF. Just read it out. Mayurbhanj district, Eastern Ghats, civil section of Simlipal, Kulidira, Haldra, elephant reserves as well. And here you have black tigers as well. Okay. So Berhi Pani, Joranda waterfalls are there. Then tribes are there. Santhal, Munda, Ho communities. Okay. Chalo. So most important topic of the day, which I said that I will be discussing, certain things not in notes, so you can jot it down from the board itself. Let's talk about Action AI Summit. So Modi ji had certain good meetings over there. So it started with Action or say AI Action Summit. The way you need water? Okay. AI Action Summit, it has happened over the French. Was it first summit? No. It was third summit in the line. And where you are going to have fourth summit? Where you are going to have fourth summit? No idea. Newspaper नहीं पढ़ा कुछ भी. चलो कोई नहीं. India. So you will observe one logic over here. Whosoever have been co-chair is generally chairman for the next summit. So this summit was hosted by France as a chair and India was co-chair. So fourth summit was in India. Okay. Third summit was in France. So second summit was, who will be the co-chair in the second summit? Exactly. And Seoul was the chair. Seoul means South Korea. Okay, you will call this Paris summit, Seoul. Then we have, India have not decided yet, but it will be here only. Then Bletchley summit first. So who will be co-chair over here? This is how generally has happened. Okay. Now these three summits. Here it was the time in the first summit AI was there. So first summit it was more about concerns regarding the AI. Everyone was considering it's a doom, no one will be knowing what is going to happen. Everything was negative about the AI. Countries were there. Okay. Organizations were not involved much. Okay. Then in the second summit, countries were there, but 16 organizations were also involved. Google, Meta and all these things. Okay. These organizations says that, oh yeah, now some positive about the AI. We will ensure that we will follow ethics and all. Okay. So ज्ञानबाजी वाला summit हुआ है थोड़ा सा. Okay. Then they said कि we need to have a control regulation and all. Acceptance increased. But in the third summit, the background of this summit was AI में क्या हुआ है भाई सबसे बड़ी चीज? फेक या सीक? डीप सीक पढ़ाया था ये तो लास्ट क्लास में. डीप सीक मॉडल ऑफ चाइना. आप लास्ट क्लास में नहीं थे इसका मतलब शायद. हाँ, डीप सीक मॉडल ऑफ चाइना. Online students, were you there? No. So, what is deep seek? थोड़ा सा पढ़ाई देता हूं मैं आप लोगों को क्योंकि ये जरूरी है. Now, what has happened over here? OpenAI is led by USA, ChatGPT and all. So, it was having its context. Okay, they were having their fun, I will say. So, they are leading the world in the AI. AI is the new thing. The hegemony of the USA is maintained. But what has happened? China came up with the DeepSeek, surprised everyone. Why everyone was surprised? USA, outgoing Biden administration, came with the AI framework. They said, let's divide the countries into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. They kept India here, China here, 18 countries on the first. So in the first tier 1 cities, they said Allow them everything, whatever they want. Everything. Okay, whatever they want means new chips, high-end chips, GPU. They are the friends of America. For example, South Korea, Japan, they were allowed everything. Then comes your T2, that is India is there. In India, they said, ki, sir, let's have them access but restrictive. So we have certain arrangements for them. What kind of arrangements? ये तो याद होगा. Initiative on critical and emerging technologies. Biden administration करके गए हमारे लिए. Okay, so T2. Okay, they talked about it. Okay, in the T3, China and the Russia type of nations, they say give them nothing. Okay, so we have to maintain the hegemony. Those who will maintain the hegemony, they will control the areas. Fair enough? Now, moving further, what they did, from here, what they did, they ensured that China has some restrictions. Then suddenly when Chinese company comes up and they says, we have built a model which is open source. The name is DeepSeek. Okay, open source. Okay, open source. Fair enough? Open source which can be accessed by everyone. And 1/6 of the cost. So it took billions and it took millions. 1/6 of the cost, and even that they used lesser number of GPUs. So it used somewhere 6 to 10K. This used only 2K chips. Okay, so the cost is quite less. It is being said that it creates a Sputnik moment for the China. The way Russia created Sputnik first, better, and the USA was concerned that now will be losing my hegemony. Similar thing has happened. So in this context, AI summit was there. And if the China is there, okay, now I'll talk about summit. If China is there with the DeepSeek, what kind of governance you can expect? Least. Okay? That is opaque. So this Action Summit was about global governance of AI. Regulation of AI. This is what we are talking about. Fair enough? Now, in this context, India and France were the chair and we decided certain things. So, we said, okay, let's have trust and transparency. First thing, the parameters that are being decided and focus from the Indian side. What are the parameters? First, what are the parameters? Now, trust and transparency. Wait. Trust and transparency. Why trust and transparency? AI works on the, what to say? What kind of data you feed into it? It is a data analytics only one. If I feed like I am the king, you will ask my AI, so he will or the AI will represent me as a king only, na? Similarly, the data that China wants to manipulate, it can promote, which have trust issues. This comes up the debate. That's why India should have its own AI. And can we do it? If the mains kind of interview kind of people are looking this video, so you can also know it that we can do it. Reason? We have done in the space. No one has ever helped us. We are performing good over here. This is something that we want to do. So see, fair enough. So, when we talk about sustainability, second feature, why sustainability? For AI, you need very high amount of energy for their data center. And for energy, you need electricity. For electricity, either you hydrothermal or thermal vents, or you can for the nuclear. Getting it? Nuclear. And when I talk about nuclear wala side, it's a clean energy. Now I am just explaining one concept over here. In budget wala section, I will not explain. Okay. So nuclear energy. Two things. I will not explain the same in Indo-US relations as well. Just focus over here. Nuclear energy will act as fuel for AI, correct? We have nuclear energy. So we need SMR. What is SMR? Good. Okay. Small modular reactors. 300 megawatts. So it will fuel the data centers. Okay. Now we are working with the France as well as USA to develop this. Context is PM Modi visit. Second, in the budget itself, we have said to build 5 SMR. So if you have to be in the successful on the AI sector, you have to focus on nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, you have to focus on SMR. These are modular reactors which do not require on-site development. They are small. Prelims में यहाँ confuse कर देगा. He will say a small modular reactor needs to be developed at the on-site. And if you do not read each one statement correctly, you will get confused. This is what you have to understand while solving the prelims paper. On-site development, not required. At the same time, these can be established in remote areas. You build it here in the Delhi and transport directly in the difficult terrain. Let them work. So our data centers can lead to the development in the northeast. They can create jobs over there. They can give the nuclear push to their local energy demands. Now, within this context, this is the government role. Even the big data companies, say Meta, Reliance लिख लेते हैं इंडिया की इज्जत रख लेने के लिए. अंबानी और अडानी कुछ भी कहो, इज्जत रख लेते हैं अपनी. ठीक है? Meta, Reliance, Adani, Ambani, Google, they are going to have talks with the nuclear power reactor makers and they are saying, you create SMR for us to fuel our data centers. Clear? This is what they are talking about. Now, in this context, moving further, let's have little bit of Indo-USA relations in our mind. Go back to the one good thing that our Honorable late Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji has done, that is civil nuclear deal, according to which we got free from NPT conditionalities, comprehensive test ban treaty conditionalities, and USA said we can cooperate you for the civil nuclear, not military. We came up with the bill. The issue was the liability. We said that the companies who have made spare parts, even they will be liable. Company who are involved in the making the things, even they are liable. So any business will hate these two things. So we did not see any positive implementation just because of these clauses. Fair enough. Then this was from the Indian side issue. Let's talk about issue from the American side. It was entity list. कुछ चीजें नहीं होंगी, पहले बता रहा हूँ नोट्स में, ठीक है, क्योंकि ये इंटरलिंक्स हैं तो नोट्स में उतना ही होता है जो हाल फिलहाल में न्यूज में है. मैं आपको पूरा एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ. दैट्स व्हाई दीज आर क्लासेस. ठीक है. नाउ एंटिटी लिस्ट. USA government has said कि if the countries or the companies, organizations are in the entity list, then the USA companies are not allowed to do business transfer of technology. ठीक है. If these issues are, Indian companies were in the entity list. Recently, Biden Chacha, while going out, removed 3 Indian companies from entity list. First one is Indira Gandhi Atomic Research Center. Second one is Bhabha Atomic Research Center. Third one is Indian Rare Elements Limited. Fair enough. With this we come up. Okay. With this we come up. Now in the position, these companies, we had talks with the USA as well when Pradhan Mantri Modi visited over there. Okay. We said, okay, now these companies becomes eligible for USA companies to do business with, and these companies along with the USA will give to the push to our SMR, and once these companies get their technology and all, these SMRs can be provided to the local industrialists, say Adani, Ambani. Got it? So now you are concerning कि why India is going to do good in the AI sector. We have a solid plan. Plan तैयार है, बस execute करना है अब उसको. Things are moving quite fast in the direction. Okay. So I hope entity list, prelims area very important. SMR prelims area very important. You must be through it. Sorry, Indian Rare Elements Limited. India Rare Elements Limited. So Action AI Summit, I will not repeat these things in the usme. Indo-US relations, I have explained. Fair enough. Now moving to the next topic, budget. This let me explain to your PDF. I hope you must have opened that as well. As promised in the last class, I'll just explain the budget to you guys. That I will explain through the PDF, concepts I will explain. Okay. First of all, the budget 2025 has been a buzzword just because of personal income tax cut that we have already discussed in the last class itself. Okay. Now, let's look the budget from the numbers. I will just show you the analysis, and the numbers will help you to understand the trends, which helps you in the prelims and in the mains for sure. Okay, this is what we have to understand. When we are talking about the budget, okay, when we are talking about the budget, so it says we receipt 50.6 lakh crore. Expenditure, again, similar. Now, receipts are what? What are the receipts? Okay, when we talk about the receipts, we have two kinds of receipts. Tax revenue, non-tax revenue. So, if you do this page only, you will be able to understand from the prelims perspective as well. Okay, now tax revenue and non-tax. So, tax revenue out of 34 lakh crore is revenue, okay, and 16 lakh crore is capital. Now, non-tax revenue, any example? Stamp papers, duties. No. Non-tax, you don't tax. These are the non-tax revenues. 5 lakh crore rupees. Capital receipt, debt capital. Debt means you have loaned someone, you are getting it back. No. Capital receipt hai. Borrowings is something that you take. Okay. Then non-debt capitals as well. Okay. So both will involve. Even borrowing you can involve here. Okay. Non-debt capital that you are getting from other areas as well. Then revenue expenditure. What are the examples of revenue expenditure? Good. What is the example of capital expenditure? Exactly. Now it means, just one example for the explanation part, it means these will not give any kind of return of investment, but roads capital expenditure will certainly give you return of expenditure. In future, it will create virtuous impact in the economy. These will be the consumed. So if we have to spend more, we have to spend more on the capital side. Okay. Now it says total revenue. Okay. We are expecting that we will not do any kind of, जितना हम कमाएंगे उतना ही खर्च करेंगे, fiscal consolidation के पाथ पे हैं. This is what the budget is estimating, but let me tell you, it will not happen. Okay, total revenue, we says we had the 50 lakh as discussed. Total expenditure 39.4, 11 point like इतना ही खर्च करेंगे. So budget deficit will be 0. Now revenue deficit, it means revenue expenditure is more, revenue receipts are less. Okay, fiscal deficit. What is fiscal deficit? Total expenditure minus total receipts except borrowing and other liabilities. Other liabilities means, suppose you have to give the sovereign wealth fund to someone. These are not something liability, it will be back. Okay, these are not. So 4.4% of GDP we are calculating it. So there is a difference between fiscal deficit and revenue budget deficit. Budget deficit can be 0, we have looked about it, but fiscal deficit not necessarily. Okay, now suppose fiscal deficit is there, which is of 15.569 lakh crores. So why we need fiscal deficit? Why do we need fiscal deficit? Let me explain two concepts to you over here. So the topic is budget. Huh? Yes. Up to some extent, I will just explain it. Okay, so fiscal deficit. The term becomes a buzzword. So when I talk about fiscal deficit, you always remember FRBM Act 2013. It says up to 3% of fiscal deficit is good for economy. Fiscal deficit shows when your expenditure is more than the income from the government side. And when your expenditure more, it directly means you have to do the borrowing. We have shown, that's why we minus the borrowings and all. Had we included it in, then it would have been 0. Okay, you have to do the borrowing. Now, if you borrow from the market borrowing will lead to less money availability for private sector. What we call it? Crowding out. Very good. Okay, we call it crowding out effect. Now, within the borrowing, when we call it expenditure, income, if this borrowing we are doing is spent on populism. What is populism? Populism means when you spend the money just to get the votes. It will not lead to any return of investment. Freebies means your expenditure is not following the fiscal prudence. This is populism. It is negative. Okay. However, when we borrow more and we invest in capital formation. We invest in capital formation. So what is it? It will give you return of investment. You will invest where? अभी तो डिस्कस किया हमने, रोड, highways. Even if you are spending on nutrition, even that is fine. It is enhancing your social infra, yeah? It will be doing good. So capital formation, then return of investment will be there. It is fine. So this concept is called deficit financing. Means if you borrow money to make your things going good, okay, it is deficit. You are deficit. Now you can do deficit financing from multiple ways. You can print extra money. What you can do? You can print from perspective of RBI. You can take money out as a crowding out. You have two options. In both the cases, there is increase in the money supply. Money supply is increasing, and the money supply increases, then it can lead to inflation. Very good. Economics तो मैंने almost operational तो मैं class में revise करवा ही दी है, correct? Inflation is there. Now the context is, if you have invested in the areas where return of investment is coming, then it is good. Suppose if I borrow money from the bank, suppose I today borrow money from the bank, I invested in some business, and from that business I am earning in crores. I took loans in the lakhs, so I will pay back. But if I spend this on my tab, this on my laptop, depreciating assets there, it will not be good. That's why fiscal deficit is required to grow faster. Again, this concept has been asked by n number of times in the prelims itself. Fair enough? Online students, is it clear to you guys? This was important from my side. I am expecting this area this time in the prelims. Dominantly मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि आप लोगों को दिखाऊंगा कि ये प्रीलिम्स में क्वेश्चन आएगा इस बार. ठीक है, चलो back to our PDF. So nominal GDP we are saying 357 lakh crore we are expecting nominal GDP. Okay. Capital expenditure 11.2 lakh crore, increase from 10.2 lakh. It is good. What is the difference between nominal GDP and the real GDP? Whenever the word real is there, you have to be ensured कि यहाँ पे हम क्या ले आए हैं? एक्सपेंडिचर को हम एडजस्ट कर चुके हैं, मतलब जीडीपी को एडजस्ट कर चुके हैं इन्फ्लेशन के थ्रू. रियल मींस इन्फ्लेशन. बस इतना याद रखना, बाकी सब हो गया अपना. ठीक है. देन इफेक्टिव केपेक्स क्या है? 55.5 लाख करोड़. ओके, इफेक्टिव केपेक्स. Now, where rupee comes from? It is very important for you guys to remember this for the mains and in the trends for the prelims. This you should understand from the heart. Okay, so first thing that you have to focus upon is rupee comes from income tax, which is a part of your direct tax, 22%. Borrowing and other liabilities, 24%. Now, with here I will explain one more concept. Just look at it. Union excise duty is 5, GST almost 18%, corporation tax 17%, non-tax reputes, non-debt capital receipts, customs 4%, 1%, 9%. So major chunk is coming from either borrowing or income tax. Higher borrowing is not good. Debt to GDP ratio will increase. Remember. Income tax, direct tax we have to increase. If we have large people paying taxes and the base increases, we have to focus on the rationalization of tax structure where the base increases, more and more people pay direct taxes, but their taxation should be less. Okay, and it will happen only if we formalize the economy. There we have to focus upon. Okay, fair enough. Now, where the rupees goes? Rupees goes maximum amount 22% to the state share of taxes. That is devolution. Devolution कौन करवाता है? Very good. Finance Commission it is. Okay. Post that, if you look, 20% interest payments. Why it is important? Now another concept that you should understand. Borrowing will create debt. Borrowing will create debt. Correct? Now this debt you have to pay back. For payback, it's not like you will be giving only debt. You will be paying back interest as well. Correct? Now the situation, why it become grimming? The reason, suppose I'm just going to explain you one example. This is rupees 100 that I borrow for my state and I pay rupees 10, that is 10% as interest. Okay. Now next year if I earn suppose only 98 rupees, okay, 10 rupees to interest hai, 100 rupees I have to pay. So I cannot pay 100 rupees first. So what I did, I first paid ensuring कि 10% तो वापस करना ही है मुझको. 9.8 तो interest गया मेरा. I was not able to pay 100. It is continuing. Okay. Sorry, 10. But 9.18 also has one value. Okay. Now I need more money. Suppose I have to make it 100 again. I borrowed 2 rupees again. Okay. Again in 2 rupees we will be having something. So it might be a case that I have to pay 0.2 again for 2. My interest payment increases from 10 to 10.2 rupees. 10 to 10.2 rupees. Again increased. Fair enough. Now this debt is increasing. But why am I earning good if I have invested this in populism? I will earn low. But suppose if I invest this in some productive capital formation, say highways and taxation. So now my earning increases, say rupees 110. First thing. Now just imagine a scenario, rupees 10 to I paid. 100 I still have. I paid 50 as well. Suppose 50 I still have. Here I have only 48. Okay. Or say instead of 210 we got 210. Highly intensive capital formation. So I paid whole of my loan at once. I have 100 rupees. So deficit financing if done in the capital formation, fiscal deficit investment if done in capital formation, you will be getting good marks. Fair enough? Next, PDF mein. Another area where you are going to spend is 16% that is central sector schemes. Central sector schemes are the schemes where 100%, okay, now centrally sponsored schemes. So if you look, they constitute almost 24%. Clear hai? Other expenditure, pensions 8%, 4%. Finance commission and other transfers again to the states, so almost 30% you gave. 8% into the defense, major subsidies 6%. So this will help you to analyze where the trends are going. Okay, now let's move towards the trends as well. So we are estimating that our fiscal deficit will be somewhere 4.4%, which was 6.7% somewhere. Okay, in the starting. It shows the year 2021. Now we are in the year 24-5. Okay, budgetary estimates we are talking about. Now revenue deficit, we are trying to bring it up 1.5. Revenue expenditure means we are reducing it. Effective revenue deficit means adjusting with the inflation wala side. Primary deficit, fiscal deficit minus interest payments. Okay, so we have to take care of interest payment as well. Done. Now theme wise, we are focusing on the capital expenditure, that is expenditure of 11.21 lakh crore, modest increase in previous years to support infrastructure, means almost doing with the similar type. National manufacturing mission, now provide support to Make in India program, domestic manufacturing up. Okay, agriculture, we are come up with the Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana, where agriculture productivity is being increased. Okay, and focus on crop diversification and post harvest storage. This is something new. These two things we are trying to cater our bottlenecks, which has been continuous since time immemorial. Post harvest storage, we do not have right storages. Then crop diversification, we are still into water intensive crops, wheat, paddy. Getting it? Now we are moving to Pradhan Mantri Shri Anna Yojana. It has two mandates: less water regressive, second nutrition aspects, third these plants, these crops also enriches soil itself. So if you just keep sowing same crop again and again, it takes out the fertility of the soil. So धन धान्य योजना, तो कृषि धन की तरह से ट्रीट कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. Then enhance किसान credit limit to 5 lakh. Earlier it was rupees 2 lakh. ठीक है. And budget proposes कि we will bring farmers, fishermen, dairy farmers within this ambit. Fair enough? This is what we are talking about. Focus on pulse production, specifically tur, udar, masoor. Then again nutrition and atmanirbharta in the pulses we are trying. Atmanirbharta. Sorry? तेज बोलो यार. हाँ, but still we import. हम ही है. ठीक है. Now setting up Makhana board in Bihar. Why Makhana board? First, always remember, Bihar is the area where people do migration. है ना? And to stop the migration, you have to do two things: skill upgradation or domestic industries. Domestic industries, Makhana gives good amount of productivity in the Bihar, but it has not been accepted. We do not have T-board like body to ensure the trade, to ensure facilitation, to create world linkage, global supply chain linkages. This is not there. Now with coming of the Makhana board, we are focusing on the local things. local agro processing industries are being upsided from our side. This is what we are talking about. Getting it? Now, taxation. When we talk about personal income tax, we know that 12 lakh rupees, 12.5 and 5 lakh rupees, no taxes. How it is going to boost economy? Last time discuss किया, ये तो किया था, आप नहीं थे शायद इसमें, ठीक है. तो बेसिकली क्या है, डिस्पोजेबल इनकम बढ़ गया है लोगों का, जिससे इकोनॉमी चर्निंग होगी. एंड सोने पे सुहागा, व्हाट वाज देयर, आरबीआई कट द रेपो रेट बाय 0.25%, है ना, 6.25 किया गया उसको. इट मीन्स मनी सप्लाई इज बीइंग इंक्रीज्ड बोथ साइड्स. डिमांड साइड, मेरे टैक्सेशन कम जाएगा इस साल, तो 60-70 हज़ार रुपये मैं भी कहीं सोचूंगा ना लगाने के लिए, ठीक है. एट द सेम टाइम टैक्स जहां बढ़ रही हैं चीजें, दे विल ट्राई टू गेट इट. क्लियर? नाउ taxation slabs revision, we know it that we have done. Technology, we are focusing on PM research fellowship to enhance the research and development. Then private sector we are promoting, so we have allocated 20,000 crore. Gene bank, crops, germplasm, so that basically we can conserve germplasm of the crops to ensure future food and nutritional security. Future food, ठीक है. हो सकता है फ्यूचर में न्यूट्रिशन का हमें बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत पड़े, तो उस तरीके से वी विल बी डीलिंग विद इट. ओके, दोज हु आर ऑनलाइन, आर यू एबल टू गेट इट? ओके, फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स, एफडीआई, न्यू इनकम टैक्स बिल that get in the proposed, we are saying insurance, we will provide 100% incentive, take insurance 100% FDI, so that more companies from the come, but they will be investing all premiums in the India. This is the caveat. So Modi ji is playing smart. Okay, so if the any foreign countries comes up with the 100% FDI, they want to own something and all, so it's fine. But the premium that you generating from this people of India, you will be investing here only. It's not like that you will just go and will invest somewhere else. Okay, do the businesses, but here. Okay, MSME startups, just give it a read. Definition have changed. Earlier, it used to be 1 crore investment side, then micro, now 2.5 crore. 10 to 25 crore, small to medium, medium 50 to 125. When we talk the definition in terms of turnover, now if you are earning up to 10 crore, turnover means not operational cost and all, you are micro only. 100 crore, you will be small only. 500 crore, you will be medium only. So definitions have improved. Fair enough. Environmental and sustainable initiatives, Maritime Development Fund, okay, with a corpus of 25,000 crore to promote sustainable development in maritime. So maritime, fishes, prawns, these things. Okay, policy for critical mineral development. So we have national critical mineral missions as well, and now the policy will be there, and these are the future minerals. Your e-vehicles, your semiconductors, your chips are being made through these vehicles. These elements, minerals. So that's why we should have the policy. In this policy, we are saying that if there is something beneath our seas, deep seas, seabeds, we will explore. If we can collaborate with some countries, for example, we are collaborating with Russia in the Arctic, we are collaborating with the Norway in the Arctic, even the USA if allowed somewhere, so we are ready to collaborate. It means to ensure supply chain resilience and to ensure that the whatever is requirement of the future, India's needs are not being compromised. Fair enough? Done? Social welfare, inclusive development, job creation scheme, 20 lakh support for gig workers. It's saying national registry, this is what you have to focus upon. So registration of gig workers. Once you register, how many, then you can create social schemes, maybe insurance schemes, maybe health schemes for them. So first, registration. So we have seen during the COVID times that how some migrants were traveling here and there, and they were just gig workers. Someone is working for Zomato, Swiggy, Uber, Ola. These people are earning good, sometimes better than us, but they do not have any social security net. Even the taxation is less comparatively. Okay, you never know what kind of income is there, what kind of income is not there, cash, class, you never know. So this is how the things are moving forward. Okay, so formalization of economy is the concept behind it. Okay, So mains, just remember, we are developing global capability centers. So where these are the, I will say, cities, settings within the India where you can start your versions. Okay, where you can start your business versions and expertise in IT, everything will be there. So we are providing a kind of environment where business can do the required growth. Okay, fair enough. So Stockholm syndrome, this you should know, is a psychological response in which hostages or abuse victims develop positive feelings, sympathy or even loyalty towards their captors. So Israel-Hamas conflict, when these people are going out, they're saying Hamas तो अच्छा है, Hamas is going, so this is in Stockholm syndrome से दिक्कत है, ये आप उनको देख के लग रहा है क्योंकि आप उतना टाइम उनके साथ रह लिए हो ना, तो you are developing positive feelings for them. ठीक है? I do not know, but there was one case law. Actually, I'm a law dropout. Okay, so in 2015, I had my mains and I was doing law as well at that time from Delhi University itself. So I left my law. Now I regret. I gave 2 examinations and I topped. Like after 17 years, someone scored 75 in the Contract Act. And after 21 years, someone scored 72 in the jurisprudence. So people were saying like, you could have been a good lawyer, but I thought that I will be a good IPS officer, but nevertheless, I have been nothing. I hope I will be a good teacher now. Okay, so that time I was reading one case law. So one rapist was there. And the judge was of the opinion that let the rapist marry. Because that rape was in the closed setting and it was continuous. He was raping the girl from the last 6-7 years. And girl developed the feeling and they decided to get married, but the family was opposing it. So it started with the crime, but with due time, then I read about it. So just shared with you guys so that you always remember you should not have a, I will say, soft mentality. Stockholm syndrome is for the soft mentality people. Okay. It started in bank robbery where the hostages bonded with their captors and even defended them after release. It is not classified as a mental disorder but studied in psychology, particularly in the cases of kidnapping, domestic abuse or coercive control. Fair enough? Okay, places in news important for the prelims. Mount Dukono, somewhere if you can identify, okay, area, okay, in the Indonesia. Okay. Almira Island, complex volcano with multiple craters. Okay, part of Pacific Ring of Fire where several tectonic plates converge. So Pacific Ring of Fire, there we have n number of volcanoes because subduction of Pacific plate beneath Eurasian plate. Geography revised. Okay, produces Strombolian and Vulcanian eruptions characterized by explosive ash emissions and occasional lava flows. Okay, done. Gulf of Elliot was in news. Underwent 3,000-year growth hiatus due to the global cooling but later naturally regenerated from deeper waters. About Gulf of Elliot, known as Gulf of Aqaba, is a northeastern extension of Red Sea. तो मतलब पहले गायब हो गया था, दोबारा वापस आ गया है. It is bordered by 4 countries. So it can be news. UPSC में बहुत पूछा जाता है आपसे ये क्वेश्चन ऐसा. Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi. If you just look at it, Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi, and this is your Aqaba and Gulf of Aqaba. ठीक है? Saudi somewhere है, तो Red Sea से आप ऐसे देख सकते हो उसको. ठीक है? Strait of Tiran at the southern end connects to the Red Sea, then Indian Ocean. So which 2 oceans are being conducted? Red Sea and Indian Oceans are being conducted. So what are donkey routes? Donkey routes are illegal immigrants routes where if you do not have the legal papers and you go from here to there, you will be having donkey routes. Fair enough? Just look at this picture, this is more than enough, okay? In the species in news, last thing that you have to do, blue-cheeked bee-eater, where it is present? Tamil Nadu, Kanyakumari, okay? Merops perseus is the name, scientific name. Golden head cisticola, what is it? Appearance shimmering green, just look at the picture. Plumage, here you can see the plumage. Distinctive blue cheek, long tail streamers, something this. Global range, breeds in Nile Delta, Pakistan, Iran, winters in Africa. Breeding behavior observed in burrows, salt pans with the population increasing 28 to 40. Breeding season active throughout the year except February. Valentine Day नहीं मनाते basically है लोग, ठीक है. IUCN status, least concerned, इतनी ज़्यादा tension नहीं है, just it was in news that we found in Kanyakumari as well. Fair enough. Now, just one topic I have remaining. I'll just explain you guys. France or USA. So PM Modi visited both the nations. Okay, in the France we had about AI, civil nuclear cooperation and defense. We are purchasing Rafales for our navy. This is what you have to understand. And we have started establishing global AI rules framework. India has proposed that we can have GPAI, Global Partnership of AI, which is already there under OECD. ये मैं बता देता हूँ आपको. So OECD is there. GPAI का उल्टा है, बस थोड़ा सा है, ठीक है. तो ग्लोबल पार्टनरशिप ऑन एआईस, दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव टू फोकस अपॉन. तो इंडिया कह रहा है इसके ही रूल्स को ग्लोबल रूल्स बना दो. तो फ्रांस इज शोइंग सम पॉजिटिव रिस्पॉन्स टुवर्ड्स इट. दिस वाज इन द फे विजिट, शॉर्ट विजिट थी. अपार्ट फ्रॉम इट, फ्रांस वाली साइड पे यू कैन हैव डिफेंस. ओके, सो वी हैव सर्टेन प्रोजेक्ट्स, सबमरीन प्रोजेक्ट्स. P75I, please do it from the prelims perspective. It has been in news and it is because of France. So we have two kinds of submarines. Where is air propellant, second is nuclear. So Scorpion class of submarine is being built with the help of France. Okay, then Rafale. These three important news were there. Okay, and we are naturally aligned with the France. Then the USA wala side, we had meeting regarding nuclear. First we are done small modular reactors. Then we talked about the AI. Done Khalistan. Trump has shown very positive response towards the Khalistan. Even released one person extradited to India. Okay, so positive side. Illegal immigrants, we said, as discussed in one of the classes, that we will take back. Now in the Trump side, they said, okay, we will not ensure that Indians are, when coming out of plane, will be shackled. Now they are handcuffed, they are shackled while entering into the plane, but in the plane they are being freed. Okay, just to maintain the good relations between them. On the tariff side, we have started talking about the trade deal. We have started talking about tariffs. Okay, however, Trump again, after Modi ji was back, spent one more word, means what he said. He said, okay, these guys are not good. We will charge whatever they will charge. So there is the principle of reciprocity. So in the principle of reciprocity, whatever you charge, they charge. This is the concept. Okay, this is how we are moving forward. Okay, so tariff we are done, trade we are done, nuclear I have already discussed, AI I have already discussed. This is what has happened. Apart from it, the Khalistan was issue. Last statement about the Bangladesh. So what has happened? It is being said USAID, one organization, has spent $21 million on voter turnout. Okay, last thing that I have to explain you guys. 21 million in the voter turnout. So somewhere 13 million have gone to Bangla or 8 million to the India. This is what the context is. ठीक है, 13 million to Bangladesh, 8 million to the Indian side. Now Bangladesh have new president Yunus, है ना. Then India, to Modi ji got 240 seats. अब ये UPSC से मतलब से नहीं है, मैं जस्ट आपको बता रहा हूँ. तो it is being said that why anyone else is concerned. So Trump has said that maybe they wanted someone else to be elected. So they tried to influence our election, but they were not able to because Modi ji was back. However, in the case of Bangladesh, they promoted students' participation in their politics and all. And we know that how these student revolution has ousted Sheikh Hasina. है ना. So this is the context. Now it shows the foreign interference in the elections, electoral process of different nations. So Trump has shown something positive. So Indian government, even the Ministry of External Affairs has said it's quite disturbing, and the related ministry and agencies are working with the respective government and agencies to get the right information, and apt actions will be taken. So what from the country perspective we have to see, we have to insulate ourselves from these things. So how you can insulate? See, these USA and all are working through NGOs or CSOs. So FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, is there, which ensures that we will be working good. Okay, so FCRA needs to be regulated. So we have to do audits of these firms and scrutiny of these firms. Getting it? FCRA, audit, scrutiny. Apart from it, however, it is concerned, this is just a negative side. US aid was always investing even in the Indian developmental roles as well, which is true to some extent. So it is being said that it will harm the projects like which is going on the AIDS, literacy, etc. So my point, India is a large country, big country, we can take care of our developments. So if these projects are very important, certainly either government or CSR funding is more than enough to continue. 21 million बहुत नहीं है, इतना तो हम बांट देते हैं अपने यहाँ, ठीक है. तो this is we can do. However, just because of these development projects, in the garb of development projects, if they are trying to influence the electoral process, we should focus on these areas. And since the Trump administration is cooperative, so we should be ready with them as well. Got it? Fine. So this was the last topic that I had to discuss with you guys. Okay. So that's all from my side. Any doubt, any question? Done? Any doubt, any question, online students? No? Fine then. Chalo then, bye bye, take care, all the best.